Hello, welcome to SDS. That is right, you heard it correctly. It is now SDS. New branding, as you can see by the logo, the header, everything like that. It's not Shark of the Sports anymore. It is SDS. And the first ever SDS episode, we have a banging cast. Incredible cast. I'm going to introduce him. Next to me, we've got Star Player.
Hello. I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Opposite me, we've got Faisal. He's got a Real Madrid shirt on.
Hello, Madrid.
Yeah.
The purple one as well.
Who's on the back?
Come on, man. The man, he's about to win the Ballon d'Or as well.
Ballon d'Or?
About to? That's not Benzema. That's not Benzema.
I'm going to search for Benzema. And next to him, we have a big return. It's been a minute. Rory Jennings on
Absolute goat is back.
That's all of you,
The
mate.
goat
I'm
is
honoured.
back.
You're very kind. You're very, very kind, mate. Honoured to be back. Cheers for having me, Sharky.
It's always great to have you on, Rory. It's always great to have you on. Well, the first thing we're going to be doing now is we're going to be doing our top 10 midfielders currently in the Premier League. I told everyone to send me a list. There's 9 people who were involved in this. I'm going to tell you exactly who's involved. It was everyone on this table, myself, Rory, Faisal, Star Player, but also Hasib behind the camera, Ilyas, Alfie, Renedy, and Liban. So 9 people got involved. 9 people sent me the list of the top 10, and we actually have 19 different names.
I'm surprised by that.
19 different players,
I'm really
current
surprised.
playing midfielders. I also told them no defensive midfielders allowed, like no pure sixes are allowed. Obviously, it's open to interpretation, so I want to see who people put in, if it's like debatable, if they all that stuff, because there's gonna be some hot takes on here.
I'm sure
and
a lot of people,
also, as you guys are watching, you guys can put in your top 10 list. I want to see all of your top 10 midfielders currently in the Premier League. I want to look through it. I want to see who you think has the best one, etc., etc. Get involved because you guys are effectively the producers of the show. And as I say that, there's a new community on Twitter, SDS Tacticals 2.0. Link is in the description. Join that. We're going to discuss stuff throughout the season. You're going to help me with ideas, all that good stuff. So we're gonna get into this. Obviously, like I said, there's 19 names. So I'm gonna go from 19. I'm gonna go from 19th to 11th, and then we're gonna go to the top 10. Okay? So we'll have brief discussions, and then when the top 10 gets there, it's gonna be interesting.
Please, my
So
boy
in
needs to be on there.
19th place, we've got 19th and 18th place. We've got 2 players with 1 point. So 2 people had him last. Granit Xhaka.
Oh man, I wanted him to make it.
I'm amazed that he made this list at all.
Star player put him in 10th. No one else had him in at all.
I'm a big fan of his game, man.
As am I. But
Honestly,
10, come on, it's hard.
it's hard. Like,
It's really generous to put him in your top 10. Whether you think he's a good player or not, I'm kind of on board with.
I put him 10th. I put him 10th. Like, me personally, the effect he's had at Arsenal when he hasn't played, you can tell. You can tell straight
got
away.
to ask
Are you
yourself
thinking?
why
Are
he
you
hasn't played.
thinking from an Arsenal head, or are you
The
thinking
impact.
as a Premier League head? Be honest.
Okay, I'll be real. Yeah, it is 75 Arsenal, 25% Prem.
You gave him that sympathy 10th. Like, I just want to have him in the list, but I know he's not good enough to be in.
I love him, man. Granite.
Nah,
he's
he's
better than Ruben Neves. I hope he's not in there.
That star player agenda, Ruben Neves.
Oh, no, bro, that's going
I can tell you, no one had Ruben Neves in. Don't worry, you're good. Also, with 1 point in our top 10 midfielders list, we have Riyad Mahrez.
Oh my God! No!
So
Kick whoever's got Riyad Mahrez on.
yeah.
Kick him off the next. Like he's not allowed to do no more tier lists.
Rory,
Bit awkward, isn't it?
Rory! Oh my God!
He's a wicked footballer.
Yeah, okay.
No, we know he's a wicked footballer.
I'm not denying that.
When's he playing the 10?
How is he 8 or 10?
When's he playing the 10?
I just couldn't have a list of excellent footballers and not have Riyad Mahrez on it. I just
But he would
couldn't,
go
I
on
just
the
couldn't not
wingers
have him on it. There's another player coming up who, if you have an issue with Mahrez, you're going to have an issue with.
Don't tell me.
But in fact, there might be a couple. But I just couldn't not have Mahrez in this.
But
He's a sensational footballer.
We know 100%.
He's a sensational footballer, and he's not a forward as such. You know the defining feature of a forward?
Okay.
He's not that, is he?
I know, I give you
Can I ask you a
that.
question?
Rory classed him as a midfielder. That's what I'm saying, which is fair.
Where does he play?
He plays a lot of the time in the sort of Salah role, which I appreciate is a forward player. I appreciate that. I just think that his name, when if we're cultivating lists of elite footballers, which is what we're doing here, we're here to celebrate brilliance, right? I'm not celebrating
He's
Riyad
so
Mahrez.
poetic.
I'm not
He's selling it to me, and I know he's not a 10 or an 8.
I'm not going to put him on this list. He has to be on this list. I can't
Midfielders list.
When he gets the ball.
8 or 10.
If you break the pitch down
Because you changed the list a couple times, but I
break,
told you specifics. Like, it's got to be...
Yeah, I
midfielders that
did
aren't
change
defensive
it.
midfielders.
I did change it, and look, at the time maybe I wasn't giving it the due diligence, but just hear me out here. If you break the pitch into 3, rather than being too creative with it, right? Sometimes football's a very simple game. Defenders,
Yes.
midfielders, strikers.
Yes.
He isn't that. He isn't the striker.
I lean him towards midfield than a striker, but
Don't.
it's like
Don't fall for
I
that.
don't. No. I'm not justifying the fact that you put him at a 10 or an 8 because he's a winger. So for me, it's
fall
like
for that.
we've had
But he's not.
Leicester as a
He's
winger.
not forward, is he? He's not a forward. If you were to say, is he a striker? Is he one of the strikers? I'll tell you what. I don't know this for a fact, and because I don't really play these games, but I reckon if you look at those fantasy games,
He'll come as a midfielder.
I reckon he's on
Yeah,
the
I think he
midfielders
is. He is
list.
midfielder.
Okay. An argument to you. Would you put Salah on this list?
No, because Salah is a striker. Salah
He's
is a
right.
striker.
He is more of a striker.
Mahrez,
Than
I think.
Mahrez.
I'll tell you what. Mahrez is a provider.
Would you put Rafinha on this list? If
He plays for Barcelona.
If he's still playing. No, if he.
Rafinha is very tricky. No,
It's on 19th place. Shouldn't be
I was
debating.
shocking.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
19th
shocking.
place.
No, do you know what?
Would Hazard go on the list?
I think you might be onto something. Hearing
Yeah,
it
Hazard
spoken
could
out
be.
loud, hearing
More
it,
than Mahrez. Hazard could be in this more than Mahrez.
hearing this spoken out loud, I might have got the definitions here slightly wrong. but I stand by it. I stand by it.
He's a brilliant player.
Simply because everything I've wanted to do, I have achieved. We have discussed his brilliance. If he doesn't
There you
make
go.
it, that's cool.
Yeah, it
not-
hasn't
he's
made the
not
top
making it.
10. Should we move on?
Yes.
All right, next.
Shocking.
With 6 points in 17th place, Jordan Henderson. I feel like he deserved more, man. I didn't put him in. It just missed out, but everyone knows how much I love him.
He's
but
on my list.
It's
I had
hard.
him on.
Yeah,
You had him
I had him on.
you both did.
I'm not hating on it, but making him top 10, I couldn't.
It's only these two that had him in out of the whole
Yeah,
list.
no, I respect it,
I
but
think he's very underappreciated. He's done a
agree.
lot for Liverpool, and I think you can't name me 10 midfielders better than Henderson.
That was exactly my logic. I just think he's sensational.
as
And
a one-on-one, or as in like, if I put Henderson on a different team, would he perform the same kind of thing? Are you talking like that?
You can't name me a better 8. Now, forget 10s. Maybe 10s you can, of course, the attacking responsibility, but you can't name me more than 10. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe 5, 10, 6, 8's better than him.
do you know the other thing that you have to factor in with Henderson? The performances of everyone around him, his impact on those around him. So if you look at the Liverpool team, Trent Alexander-Arnold, phenomenal player, exceptional. He almost openly gives the credit to Henderson. He acknowledges that his performances are a credit and testament to the player that Jordan Henderson is. In terms of a leader, when you do leaders over the years, like if you think back over history, like iconic, proper leaders, there's maybe a dozen? Tony Adams, Brian Robson,
John
Roy
Terry.
Keane, John Terry. He is that.
Jordan Henderson?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll give you
Jordan
that.
Henderson is that.
No, I
And
give you that.
IQ wise, next level as well.
Completely. And
As in
also
ball playing IQ.
he's a warrior as well. Like there's a place for that.
One thing about him, though, he does not stop running.
Yeah.
His fitness levels
Cardio,
are crazy.
His the demands that he puts on himself and those around him. Like, I think if you were to take Jordan Henderson out of this Liverpool team, this dynasty that they've created, and they've been very unlucky because Liverpool have created a dynasty, an era-defining dynasty.
100%. They should have multiple trophies.
But they haven't because they're competing with a state rather than competing with a football club.
Yeah.
But if you take Henderson out of this is the best Liverpool team ever.
Yeah.
Like, the way that Liverpool
Can I ask
smashed
you?
it up.
Can I
it
ask you
wouldn't have
both a
the
question?
success.
Yeah. Take away the leadership. Could James Ward-Prowse do the same job he's doing? If
He's
played
a
for
leader as
Liverpool?
well. He's a very good leader.
If
as
he
well.
played for Liverpool,
No.
take the leadership, both like
The only
ability-wise, both playing like.
In my
you put 'em
opinion, the only thing that Ward-Prowse got over Henderson is set pieces ability.
Then that's not you watching James Ward-Prowse because he's
No,
not just
that's the
set
only
pieces.
thing.
I nearly
No,
had-
that means you're underrating Henderson as well. You haven't
I
seen-
rate
you haven't seen Henderson.
I rate
For you to
Henderson.
compare this-
I rate Henderson.
See,
but I'm
Henderson's
saying-
outside the boot pass to Salah against Man
against Man
United.
United. Yeah, I know. I've
Crazy.
seen that.
Henderson passing
Technical-
ability
techie.
is good, bro.
Also, you can't take away one of his best attributes and then say, is he the same? It'd be like saying,
No,
would
I
Wayne
completely
Rooney be the
understand.
same player without the anger? Well, probably not, but he has got the anger and therefore he's a wicked
So it
footballer.
makes him a better player.
Like, it's interesting you say Ward-Prowse though, because do you know who got bumped on my list for Ward-Prowse? Mahrez.
Yeah. He had Ward-Prowse initially.
Ward-Prowse was on my list initially.
Like, thank God you kept Mahrez.
All right, let's move on. We're not got to the top 10 yet. All right, in 16th place, 1 point above Henderson, 7 points this player got in our midfielders list, Raheem Sterling.
For fuck's sake, this is you again, bro.
Because he's a midfielder. He's also. I feel like I've got a justification. Having a fit. I feel like I've got a justification for this one. I think that Chelsea could be about to evolve our form, evolve our shape. I think that if Chelsea signed, look, at one point I was hoping it was going to be Lewandowski. At one point I was hoping it was going to be Cristiano Ronaldo, and I still am hoping that, to be honest. I think that if that happens, Chelsea play 2 up front with Raheem Sterling buzzing around the middle, Ronaldo playing with his back to goal, Raheem Sterling buzzing around. No. I can see it. I can see it.
You reckon?
He's not a striker. Hang on. There is logic. There is logic to this.
For me, Riyad Mahrez has a better shot than Raheem Sterling. It's literally that.
Sterling.
You're very strict with your rules, you two. You're very strict.
You know Sterling. I swear he's got more than 100 goals in the Prem.
Yeah, but so does Frank Lampard.
But we know Frank Lampard's a midfielder, but like
Good point. It just cancels you out right there.
Sterling, no.
But we already spoke about Mahrez.
I've never seen him play the 10.
We already spoke about Mahrez.
Play the 10 or the 8.
Yeah, we already spoke about Mahrez for ages.
Yeah,
I feel like
So
he's got another winger in there.
So his list is full of wingers.
Maybe.
Let's move up. Okay, in 15th place, no one had him in, and one person had him in third, because I feel like everyone listened to the rules except for one person, or two, because Rory didn't listen to the rules as well. Rodri. He's a defensive midfielder.
That's a defensive midfielder.
Renedy had him in third.
I knew it. I didn't even have to say anything. I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it.
Do you know what? The
Third
only
as
thing
well,
I would
that.
say in defence of this, the only thing I would say, scored a lot of goals last season. What did he get? 6, 7? Like that 6, 7 from midfield sounds box to box to
ones
me.
as well.
Yeah.
Randy probably just Googled top 10 midfielders and just putting them in.
I said no defensive midfielders.
He is a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
He's a 6.
defensive
He's a 6.
I rate him highly because he can play the 8, but he's a 6. Like, I know he's a 6.
That's what's going to be interesting, because we're going to go up now, about one point up, 9 points.
Fabinho.
Declan Rice. But this one,
No, I stand by this.
No,
I'm not having any pushback on this. That is a definition of a
Rory
box
had
to
him in
box midfielder.
5th. Stars, you had him in at 9th.
Yeah, I know.
And
100%.
Randy had him at 10th.
Thank God.
No, I know.
Yeah.
This year, he's elevated his game. He became an 8.
Look at Fraser's face.
Suchek thinking he's defensive midfielder.
He's a natural position as a 6.
But he's an.
not
I
a
think.
six.
I
If
don't
you
think
watch-
he's a 6.
if
He's a box to box midfielder.
West Ham's best season this year, he didn't play the 6.
Yeah.
Suchek played the 6.
It's just he doesn't score enough goals. That's a flaw in his game, though. Like we can
Am I
discuss the
lying?
flaw in his
Are we
game.
lying?
But he should be scoring 10
I'll
goals
allow
a
Rice.
season.
I'll-
I honestly
I'll
think he
allow
should be scoring
Declan
10
Rice.
goals.
If you classify...
He took Suchek's spot. Suchek used to
not
be the
allowing
one that runs into the box. Declan Rice elevated his game. He's playing box to box now as Suchek sits.
I'm not allowing that. If you classify Declan Rice as a 6, you better classify Partey. Sorry, if you classify Rice as an 8, you might as well just put Partey in there as well as an 8.
Yeah, well, we haven't got to that yet.
Bro, they're not.
I think.
What's the natural position? What's the natural position?
I think you didn't watch that many West Ham games this year. I'll be real.
This guy loves
He
digging,
was-
you know.
he
This
was
guy loves to dig.
Passive aggressive comment. Very passive aggressive.
You could ask everyone in this room, bar Merce, what position Declan Rice played this season is arguably his best season at West Ham.
Do you know what?
He played
I
the
think. Do you know with the Sterling shout? I think I was probably wrong. Mahrez, I think I was probably wrong. I'm standing on this.
No,
one.
I'm happy with this one.
Yeah, I'm happy to acknowledge that maybe I was wrong with Mahrez. But Declan Rice is a box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah.
Declan Rice isn't a defensive midfielder.
He's not.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Yes.
Well, for England, he still is.
Yeah, but that's because everybody's a defender for England, because Southgate loves defending and has no ambition and is coward. That's why. That's why. I mean, we play attackers. We play attackers at defender. Like play Saka over Grealish because Saka defends better. That's mental.
Yeah. I'll take that because Declan Rice has been at his most advanced role this season than he ever has been.
His
Or last
natural
season.
position is a 6. I'm not taking it.
Come on.
And it's funny how only 2 people out of 9 had him. But
Yeah, but two of the elite minds in the group.
Facts. Tactical geniuses.
maybe.
Two of the elite minds. Two of the elite minds.
All right, we're getting close to the top 10 now.
goats.
Well, you can't put star player and elite mind together, bro.
You can. All right, getting close to the top 10 now. In 13th place with 10 points. No one had him in. This was interesting. Only one person had him. No, 2 people had him in. That's it. Phil Foden.
Okay, I didn't put him because of the definition.
None of us on this table had him in.
Yeah, but I was doing my best to play by the rules by this point.
I thought you'd have Foden in it, you know.
Yeah,
Not
He's
as a
more of a
midfielder.
midfielder than any of the
Mahrez and Sterling.
Not
Hey,
as a, not
he
as
had
a
Mahrez,
midfielder.
Sterling and Rice.
I know
Foden counts more than all of them.
It's not a midfielder. I don't see him as a midfielder. I don't see Foden as a midfielder.
None of us had him in, to be
I
fair.
also don't.
He's
I
not.
don't necessarily think he makes my list either.
Last season he played left wing and false 9. He can't be.
There was a couple of Champions League games he played in midfield.
One, maybe the one he came against Atletico.
And it was very good.
That's it. But other than
Unreal
that,
performance.
majority of the time with City was sort of left wing.
So you'd say Foden's a winger. If I ask you
In my
now,
opinion-
what position is Foden? You'd say winger. I'd say midfielder, bro. I don't know. I'm back. I didn't have him on my list either. I'm just saying. You'd say he's winger.
At the moment, he's a left winger / false nine. I don't see him. I don't classify.
Did he
him.
make anyone's list, Sharks? Has anyone put him on the table?
Not on this table. No. Hasib had him highest at 5th, and Randy. No, Liban had him at 7th. But that's it.
Okay.
Not bad. I'm not hating with it. I'm not hating with it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not hating it, but he's just not on my list.
He can't play the
No one had him in, so we don't need to discuss it. Let's go up now by the last person who missed out on the top 10. We've got 11 in the top 10 because we have 2 players tied in 6th place. So in 12th place, and the last person who missed out on the top 10 is Christian Eriksen.
I had him on my list, but not on my top 10.
Once again, no one on the table had him in.
He's not. Is it a Manchester? Who put him in? Liban.
So Liban had him in very high at 6th. He had him highest at 6th. Randy 7th, Alfie 8th.
I mean, I think he's a good player. I think he deserves a lot of plaudits for loads of things, but he doesn't belong on this list. Like, we're discussing the elite of the elite here. Christian Eriksen's a good midfielder, very good midfielder, but I don't think
He's
he's on
not
this.
elite.
Yeah,
Especially
not
now.
elite.
Especially now.
He was in his pump.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, but
That's what I'm saying.
You reckon he's
top
still
10 right now.
He's not a top 10 footballer.
He did change Brentford though when he came back.
He did.
But if you're saying Brentford, that's not elite either. Like, I think you've got to be doing it at a club that are competing.
He got
at the
the
top.
move to Man United, the institution. That's Man United, Rory. Don't forget about the institution.
Yeah, and maybe this year we judge him. Maybe this if he's putting in those performances for Manchester United at the end of this season, when we sit around, we can discuss that.
That's the thing about Man United. It's like Bruno's going to play ahead of him, no?
He will.
Yeah, he will.
I don't know if they'll stop both of them. I think.
Well, there's so much competition to play. There's 5 subs to make.
Yeah, no, he'll be a good
There's
role
a lot
player.
of
He'll
football
be a
to be
good squad
played.
player.
Condensed season because of the World Cup as well. I imagine that he's been brought in to just elevate the entire squad.
But he's not there.
But he's not that, no.
Oh, no one had him in. Well, let's get into our official top 10. And the player who got into 10th place on a technicality because there was a tie in 6th, so he would have finished 11th, James Madison.
Oh, wow.
That's generous.
Phase 1 Stars had him in.
I had him 10th.
Stars had him 7th, which is the highest across the whole board.
I think
Madison. Elite of the elite.
I think he's elite of the elite. I think
you
he's
need to
elevated this
consult.
game
Someone needs to get this man an Oxford English dictionary. Consult your OED. Elite. James Madison.
I think he's elevated this game so much. Even with that poor Leicester side last year, he carried that. And then I generally believe he's the best Englishman between like Mount, him, Grealish. I think Madison's the best out of the lot.
No way.
I genuinely believe Mount.
That's a big shout.
That's
That's a big list.
You got 100 million, man.
I had him in.
You got 100 million, man.
Yeah.
You got Mason Mount.
You know, 100 million man. Jack
It was
Grealish.
between him. It was between him and Tielemans for me, and I feel like he contributes more, adds more than Tielemans.
I'm really surprised that we're discussing James Madison at this stage of this video because this is incredibly complimentary. And look, I'm not even sneering at it, but let's just explore it. There are only 9 midfielders better in the league than James Madison,
According to Faisal, but 6 according to Stars.
Yeah.
And for you, /2 wingers and Sterling and Mahrez.
So he would have made it. He would have made it to about 8. So he would have made it about 7. So he would have made it about 7. But what is it with you guys that like you don't see with James Madison?
I don't see it. I
disagree heavily.
Do you know who else doesn't see
the
it?
Mountain thing?
Gareth Southgate. You guys might have the same mind.
Doesn't have. There's a line. There's a line. There's a line.
He doesn't like to. You can say a lot of things. James Madison brings that.
Yeah, you went there. That's unacceptable. But no, do you know what? I think he can be really good on his day, but I feel like his day is so infrequent. I think he's lightweight. I think he's wasteful on the ball.
Last season, I think he
finished well.
had that though.
He finished well
Like
season.
last 5-6 months, he was strong.
Yeah, but we can judge footballers. We look
Didn't he
at
have better
what,
stats
18
than Mount
months
this year?
I'd say 18 months is our time
Last
frame.
season.
Sure, Mountain did really
Last
well.
season.
In the Prem, not no comps.
Mount had a 11-10 season.
Mount
Yeah,
did really
no,
well.
Mount was Chelsea's top goal scorer.
I don't
last
think
season
Madison did
in the
better than
league.
Mount last
No,
season.
he didn't.
It's because towards the end of the season he was racking up. That's why.
But
that's
for me,
what you remember.
for me, I had him 10th. It was between him and Tielemans, but I feel like Madison adds more and it's more effective than Tielemans. But it's still 10th.
Okay.
He's got that move apparently to Newcastle as well. You think that will not change it?
I think he'll go.
He's going, yeah.
Yeah, I think
50 million.
I think he needs a new challenge. Also, Leicester, like they're hemorrhaging players, aren't they?
Apart,
They're not, yeah.
But the thing is, they've all
Been saying it about
no, but
Brendan
they've,
Rodgers
but,
for a
but,
long
but
time.
they've
man.
always been selling players, but their recruitment's always been elite.
Yeah.
So like they've sold since they won the league, they sold all their best. Like Jamie Vardy's on, that's really there.
Yeah.
They've sold everyone, but then they've
Yeah, their
constantly
recruitment's
been
been incredible,
top,
innit?
top four, top
Yeah.
like.
By the
chasing
way,
for top
guy-
four.
But this season they haven't.
This season,
they haven't
yeah,
brought
it
anyone.
looks like it's done now.
No.
Looks like Dynasty's done.
by the way, guy, James Madison had 12 and 8 last season.
Yeah, but
Very
stats
impressive.
can be very misleading, can't they?
No,
They
but
don't
he scored
quantify-
against big teams.
But the
United.
stats that you're reading out there, they quantify one thing and they give us a clue into one thing, but they don't. How do you quantify
But
heart,
Mount's-
effort, work
Influence
rate,
on
passion?
team.
Yeah,
I think he's had that this year, especially this year.
But Mountain stats is misleading as well.
I know.
yeah, because he's even better.
If
He's even better than his stats suggest.
I'll come to that.
All right, let's move
If
on.
it's Norwich and Watford, yeah, you're smiling.
For real.
Both of them got relegated. I don't know what he's gonna do.
I read something. I'm gonna read it now.
All right, let's move on. In 9th place, so Madison is now 10th. So in 9th place, Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that actually has him on. I have him on the highest as well over everyone that's actually involved in the thing. I've got him in 4th.
I rate
Thomas
him.
Partey's the
I
fourth
rate
best
him.
midfielder.
Through an Arsenal, looking at this through the Arsenal lens, I can see why, because he's so integral.
No,
to
he's
everything.
so- no, he is.
he's
Yeah.
so good.
so
Rory.
key to Arsenal.
If he's not there, Arteta ball's done.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
I don't
if he's
disagree, yeah.
injured, you can't play Arteta.
I mean, I would contest that there is such a thing as Arteta ball, but that's a different conversation.
I'll tell you who had him in. Obviously, I had him at the highest in 4th. None of you guys had him in. And only Ilias and Renedy also had him in. So they're also Arsenal fans as well. So could
Yeah, because
be
you
why.
see quite how important he is.
no, he is very important,
yeah.
but
But also, he came with a big reputation as well.
Yeah, totally.
Came from Atletico
That's
Madrid.
it, yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's been very good for us.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean,
he's been in
there
and
is
out.
no doubt. There is no doubt the talent of the player.
Yeah.
The question is, are there only 9 better midfielders? I
We'll
would
find out
Find
as
out
we move
this
up this
season.
list. All right, in 8th place, jumping up from Partey at 13 points. This one has 23 points. In 8th place, it's another Arsenal player. It's our captain. It's Martin Odegaard.
oh, I'm expecting big things.
All of us had him in.
Yeah.
So
It would have been criminal if Rory didn't have him in. It would be criminal.
No, I want more from him. To be honest, I do
and,
want
and,
more.
and
I
I can
think
say, and everyone had him in apart from one, which is Alfie. So that's really good. Every single person had him in somewhere in the list.
I often don't watch football though, innit?
no, he's a very good player, Odegaard. Like, there's no conversation here. I think that there needs to be more delivery.
You
There
know,
need
you know the
goals.
reason for me. Obviously, Sharky will tell you where everyone placed him, but for me, just because of the dynamic and the plays we brought in,
You had him in
I
very
think
high,
that-
by the way.
it's
You had him in 4th.
No, I did. No, the only reason is I think he's gonna go a level above with the plays we brought in and stuff like like, all the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
expectancy and everything that you're expecting from him. I think he'll deliver it this year,
Yeah,
and
I
then we'll
think
look
you're
back at
right,
this 6 months from now. I'll put it on Twitter. I had him the highest, and everyone's gonna be like, "Wow."
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's going to do really well this season.
I think you
I
need
think
to.
I genuinely believe it's his exact playing style that he wants. Like with Lacazette, he couldn't play no in behind. Like, you know how Odegaard looks first.
Yeah.
If anyone's making a run or
Well,
whatever.
Jesus,
The
Now-
thing is though, you can see Arteta is directly replicating the Man City team.
Yeah.
You can see it. So is Odegaard meant to be our De Bruyne or Bernardo? Who is he meant to be? Because if he's meant to be our De Bruyne, he needs to get more numbers on the board because De Bruyne actually gets numbers on the board.
I feel like
Who's
I feel
Odegaard
like
to
he
be?
suits the Bernardo Silva.
He's the
role
more the
more.
Bernardo
No,
Silva.
for me, David Silva.
But he's not that.
David Silva's
this-
retired, but I don't know if he was playing, yeah.
Yeah, but we still need that De Bruyne kind of player. Who's that meant to be?
Apparently, it's meant to be Fabio Vieira. Someone said that.
I think
It was phased, by the
with
way.
Odegaard,
Giggle man.
with Odegaard, I think he's been brilliant, and this is the season to judge him. In fact, this is the season to judge Arsenal now.
Yeah,
like
100%.
You know, Shoki, you and I have gone back and forward on Arsenal
Yeah.
for ages now, and Arteta in particular. In fact, do you agree with this now? Now is the season. So, basically,
we have to
either
get back
I
into
was
Champions
right.
League.
At the end of this season, we're going to know either I've been right or you've been right.
Yeah.
So if Arsenal are in the Champions League,
And I actually saw you talk about this in the conversation, which I really enjoyed.
oh, thank you.
With you and Ade.
Yeah.
And you were talking about Arteta, and you were like, Sharky, the way Sharky talks about Arteta.
Yeah, I did.
I saw that, got sent
Yeah,
to me.
this is it though. This is judgment, but I think it's very much part of the Odegaard thing.
Yeah.
Like if Odegaard now needs to really deliver, he needs.
Yeah.
You know, we've known about him for donkey's years,
Yep.
and now he needs to step up. He needs to be the man that we think he could be. And
He's
I
been
think he
given the
can.
captaincy as
Yeah,
well
I think he
officially
can.
now, so the responsibility
that's
is given
huge.
to him.
Last year was a lot of, like you said with Madison, it was a lot of glimpses. Like you could see it, but then some games you just went missing.
Yeah, I just think
You need that
the lack of
consistency
goals,
now.
isn't it? Like considering how good he is, considering how well he can pass and that, and the vision, you think hey, you should be scoring.
No,
double
but the
figures.
thing about him, yeah, I've been obviously, like when I'm there and I'm watching, or when I'm watching on TV, wherever I'm watching, it's you can see he prefers assisting more than scoring.
Yeah.
Like you can see he's in
He
position.
never looks to shoot first.
and he'll try and put that little
Yeah,
cheeky
yeah.
pass,
Yeah.
and he loves it. He just gets more thrill
It
from
needs to be
assisting.
coached out of
He's
him,
that
man.
that needs to be coached out of him
Yeah.
big time because he's got a shot on him.
But this is
does.
he's got a shot on him now as well.
He needs to just like go for it.
That energy that
He's that
Arsenal
kind of
now
player.
have up front. If you think Gabriel Jesus, well, if you think about how static somebody like Lacazette was, Gabriel Jesus will be running the channels,
Yes.
pressing from the front. The other two always do that, and therefore you're fine. Odegaard, this is it, and I think he'll do it. By the way, I rate him.
I completely agree with you. It's the first time where you can see the pace that Arsenal have got, and I think he's
what
gonna
Arteta's been after in it, like an effervescent front line.
Exactly.
Moving up now in 7th place with 25 points, not that far off Odegaard, you know. N'Golo Kante.
That's shocking.
Look,
This is weird because
love him.
none of you three had him in, but he actually made it quite high. So
The thing is,
Someone must have had him second.
I'll tell you. Don't know why I made it so high. I had him in my list. He's 8th, but he's 8th.
Must someone
It's nostalgia.
Let me tell you.
It's nostalgia, man.
Ilias had him at 2nd. Alfie had him at 3rd.
It's nostalgia, man.
That is crazy.
Yeah, see,
It's
it's
nostalgia, man. Because if you base if you base on last season, if you base on last season,
that's why I didn't.
But even like you still see performances from him even last season where it's one off. It could be one off, but he'll have like a performance where it's like, oh my god, that's.
I've not heard
But it's not
someone
consistent
rave
enough.
about Kante.
That's what I got in my 8th.
No, I respect it. You just put him in because
because he's but also because
You
he's
got
still
him
a
in there
sick
because of the
midfielder.
CV. You got him in there
Nah,
because
but also because he's still a sick midfielder. You just don't see him much anymore.
I think that he can have a brilliant season.
He's still one of the top 10 best midfielders in the Premier League. You can't say he's not.
His form of last season belies his own brilliance. Like he wasn't particularly good for Chelsea last season. Chelsea weren't particularly good either last season, but he wasn't great. If you think about the player that he was when Chelsea won a European Cup, semi-final, man of match, final, absolutely ridiculous.
100%.
But we can't really base it on that. I think he could have another season like that. I'm really optimistic that he's going to have a massive season ahead of him. But basing it on last season, I just don't think he's on this list at all.
Yeah.
And physically, he's lost it.
I think his bodies gave up.
He's been top tier
Exactly.
for pushing now a decade. Like
You reckon? I think like
6-7 years. Yeah.
well,
2015 he signed for Leicester.
that year at Leicester.
So
from then on,
6 seasons.
both internationally
Yeah,
and
but that's the thing. Yeah, it was 6 seasons, but it was 6 seasons of crazy,
Pure excellent.
Elite
Like,
season.
6 seasons.
in World Cup, Champions League,
PFA.
Premier Leagues,
Player-
He's in. He
Week in, week out.
He completed football in 6 years. That's all he needs.
Took the league,
and he's
with
in a
him,
list
didn't
of like maybe like 5 other people in history of football.
Yeah.
That's won. Well, he's won.
Yeah,
The
well,
World
he
Cup,
did that
Champions
thing.
League, and Premier League.
I think
Not many
only
people have
him,
done
only
He
him and
needs Euros,
Cantona
and
have
that's
done
it.
it.
Yeah.
he's got Europa as well.
Yeah,
Just 1 Euros and he's completed.
and only him and Cantona have ever done that. Won the league at a club, gone to another club and taken the
And
league
won it.
title with them. Like Cantona did it, Leeds to Man United.
Yeah.
Kante did it, won the league at Leicester, took
straight
the
to
league
Chelsea.
with him to Chelsea.
Yeah, him and
Like,
Drinkwater.
he's a Premier League great. He's a Premier League great. He's an icon. He's a Premier League great, an
Drinkwater.
icon, but top 10 at the moment, it just doesn't.
I can't put him in.
Yeah.
I respect him, but I just think it's
I
like
understand.
if we're basing it
Just
this,
based on
if we're
last
going into
season,
if we're
Last
going
season,
into
yeah.
this season, I just can't. Like,
You can't.
I understand. Well, we'll move on because none of us had him in, so I'm not going to debate with you guys. I'm going to go. There's a joint 6th, so we'll talk about both of them separately, but I'll go into one of them. One of the players that made it into the joint 6th place is Gundogan.
I wanted him in my list badly.
Neither Rory or Stars had him in.
Me and Rory, imagine with the ghost. I like this.
Yeah.
Man says brilliant minds.
It isn't. I just don't think.
pretty high.
I don't think that he shone last year. I don't think
Not
that he
as
shone. I
much
think
as the
the season before that, in the January before that,
He did score. He
was-
scored to win in the league.
in the January before that, he was the best player in the world. Like he went through that period in
Yeah,
January.
yeah.
He went through that period in January where he was just totally unplayable.
Yep.
And has been an incredible player for City. But I would say last season overall, when you think about City, when you think about the iconic moments for City, aside from obviously
The final day.
the moment,
Yeah.
he just doesn't feature. You're
But
looking
then
at me
again,
like
it's not-
I'm
but-
insane.
But then it goes back to your original point. It's not about stats. Maybe 2 seasons ago he had the stats to back it up. Last season he didn't have the stats, but then he played 29 games in a packed City team,
Yeah,
which says a lot.
yeah.
And for you to put Mahrez ahead of him,
We've gone past the Morris.
and just that, but other players ahead of him.
In fairness, I put Mahrez in
You know what I did as well with
with
my
a very
list?
loose definition of the rule. I think Gundogan would have been in my list had I played by the rules.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
For me, I'm basing this off obviously the top 10 going into next season. And I feel like Gundogan is a top 10 talent, but he's going to be a role player. squad player, which
But that's
needed.
But that's what a lot.
That's how I looked at it.
but
Like
that's
for me,
what- but that's
Odegaard,
what
I put him
people-
high because I think what I'm expecting him to do next season is what we really do
Well,
about
people-
this top
but
10
the thing is,
in
yeah,
the Prem.
but
So
people-
I'm looking at it going, top 10 going into this season. I'm not
So
looking at
you're doing a predictions video then.
basically a little bit.
Which is the wrong video, but then
But no, because if you if you see my list, you'll see it's serious. But what
I
do you
don't know
call
why you're
it?
here, bro.
But
But nah.
I respect Gundogan. Gundogan was like 11 for me.
So I just missed out.
Yeah, well, I just missed that.
But then
After Xhaka, outside
Yeah,
Xhaka.
it was him or Xhaka, and I wanted Xhaka.
Because of the Arsenal bias. Yeah, because you said 75%.
Yeah, 75%.
Yeah, it's your list. You don't have to
your
justify
list.
your list, mate.
Yeah, it's alright.
He's judging me now. Look at him.
Should we go with who he was tied for with 6th place? The person he was tied with in 6th place is Mason Mount.
Wow.
Mason Mount
Mason
made
at 6th?
Mason Mount made 6th best.
Do you know why?
I
Because
actually, I might have
someone,
put him at 6th. I don't know.
someone in this room had him at 3rd.
And that's him.
That's Hasib.
What?
Rory had him at 6th. In the position he landed.
Hasib's a very wise man. Hasib's a very wise man.
So where did everyone have?
So everyone on this table, I had him at 9th. Rory had him at 6th. FaZe had him at 8th. And Starplay had him at 5th. So on the table, you had him highest.
You're not in your list at all.
No, he had him.
Nah,
He had him the highest on this table.
I respect him very. Like, even though I get at Chelsea,
He's solid.
and I always talk about his stats, he's so impactful on Chelsea.
I think that's the perfect word.
For his
Yeah, it's
team,
like,
Yeah.
he's very, very
The
important.
perfect word. He's impactful. He's at the epicenter of everything good Chelsea do,
yeah.
and has been picked by countless managers.
And I feel like, as we're going, I feel like this season this game's gonna go like that.
He's a stat pal.
no,
Nah.
he's actually the opposite of that.
You know what I did? Because I knew you were gonna be here. So what?
So you looked at
I
Norwich and Watford, and he got braced
I
and two
researched-
assists,
I
and 2
researched-
goals in that.
No, I researched. Mason Mount had 11 goals last season. Yeah, 4 of them was against Norwich.
Yeah, I know that. 4 of them
One of
against
them,
Watford.
one of them goes at Watford. That's 5 so far. Both of them got relegated. One of them was going to Leeds, just scraped through. One of them was Everton, just scraped through. One of them was Southampton, just scraped through. He's 10 goals against the bottom 5 teams. And for someone to call him impactful, he needs to do it.
Impactful, though.
He needs to make it a top.
But
10.
I would say that if I were to list Mason Mount's qualities and what he brings to Chelsea, goals would be 10th on the list.
If that.
He's so important to everything that Chelsea do that scores goals against lesser teams by that definition. I would also say there's always caveats to that. So scoring goals for Chelsea against Leeds is actually a massive thing because of the rivalry with Chelsea and Leeds.
You don't know that because he watches La Liga.
Who? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no. Scoring goals for Chelsea against Leeds is a big thing. But equally with Mount, if I were to list 10 of his attributes, maybe goals isn't even on it. Like that's how important.
Yeah, I don't know.
player
Yeah,
is.
goals. You wouldn't look at it as goals. You look at it like even like chances created, assists, all that stuff. He's always.
He's also the heartbeat of the team. You know that kind of player. You know the way that you and I were kind of acknowledging the prowess of Jordan Henderson in that Liverpool team. We were kind of both aware of how much he does because Trent Alexander-Arnold is a better player because he's on the pitch. Maybe Virgil van Dijk is a better defender because Jordan Henderson is on the pitch.
See that
It's that.
I agree with you. People are gonna call you crazy for saying that. You just said that Van Dijk is a better player because of Henderson.
I think it's true.
I agree with you, but people are gonna think you're crazy.
I think
that reminds me
Mohamed
when I
Salah-
said Pep's a better manager because he had Arteta with him.
I think
It's pretty similar.
I think Mohamed Salah is a better player because of Jordan Henderson.
That is
Mohamed Salah is a
100%
better
fact.
player with Jordan
That
Henderson.
whole
on
right
the
side, Trent, Henderson, Salah
pitch.
they
It's
play
the
together.
glue that holds it together. The
So
person that gives him freedom.
would you say Klopp's a better manager because of Pep
Pep
Linders?
Linders, 100%.
Oh, fair enough.
100%. Pep Linders can manage a team on his own.
But in the way that Henderson can be the heartbeat of Liverpool and so representative to Liverpool, he's Jurgen Klopp's mouthpiece on the pitch, and that is Mason Mount at Chelsea. So yeah, goals are a thing, but there are many other strengths.
You know what?
to his
Also with Chelsea, one major thing, they don't play with a striker, so you can't really. You look at how many times has he set up these guys?
Yeah.
The Havertz, the
Also, mate,
Burners.
do you know what? Chelsea won 8 games at home last season. Like we didn't really beat many teams. We were struggling really. So scoring goals against those lesser teams, that's actually why we made top 4. You know, because we didn't really 8 wins at home. It's not a good.
Honestly,
It's
it's
not
not
a good
great.
season.
Not a great
So
answer.
those goals that led to points were
I've
actually.
got Mason Mount on my list, but he's nowhere near. He's nowhere near 5th or 6th.
And he doesn't get to play in
What
his
about
favourite
third for
position
Hasib?
as well.
It's the third.
He gets moved about.
It's disgusting.
Should we get into top 5?
Go on.
Top 5.
We have another Chelsea player in 5th place.
Oh,
Kovacic.
Kovacic.
That's disrespectful, man.
Top 5?
Kovacic is not top 5, man.
Lower?
He's higher than top 5.
Oh, okay, yeah, of course. You have him at 3rd. That's why you're saying that.
I think.
Do you know why though? Do you know why? Rory doesn't have him in his list at all.
Rory, how you not got?
I made a pigs here in my list. I made a pigs here in my list.
You don't rate him or you just forgot about it?
I just forgot, to be totally honest. I just completely slipped my mind.
If Rory had him in, he'll be higher, I think.
Just completely slipped my mind.
Yeah, he'll be higher.
I genuinely believe he's world
I was on the
class.
tube. I was slightly warm. I was doing my list on WhatsApp, and I'm going to be totally honest. I sort of forgot he existed. I feel very ashamed.
Where would you put him on your list?
Yeah, he'd be in my top 10. He'd definitely be in my top 10. He'd probably be somewhere between, without thinking about it too much, somewhere between 4th and 7th.
That could have pushed him one place higher.
I'm very embarrassed by this. I totally forgot that he existed. I've kind of got to sit this one out. I don't know what to say. I'm terribly sorry, everybody.
The rest of us had him in on this table. To be fair, not alone. Renedy and Renedy again, innit? Yeah, Renedy's a friend of ours who always makes pigs ear of his list as well. It's like a recurring.
So he's got Kovacic in? No.
Renedy and Liban also don't have Kovacic in.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're not alone.
Okay.
Do you guys want to have high praises for you? Had him in 3rd, so I'll give you the floor.
He's world class. What he does, like the 8, he's mastered that.
I agree.
The Mazzala, he mastered that.
Do you miss him, Faisal?
Huh?
Would you have him at Real Madrid now?
Would I have him at Madrid now? No, because we've got 6 other midfielders better than him. But he is.
So you have 6 world class midfielders then?
We've got.
You should agree
he's
that
not world class. No, I said no.
He's not better.
He's not world class.
He's better.
He's not world class. He's
better.
Chelsea's best midfielder, easily, but he's not world class.
Nah, he's world class. He's world
Would I
class.
take him to Madrid? No, I wouldn't take him to Madrid.
No, he's world
we've got
class.
6
Let's
people
not do
better.
that.
Yeah, I think at what he does, there's very few better. I mean,
Very
I think
few.
the only thing I would like from him is a bit more
Goals.
output. Yeah.
But you know how you said Jordan Henderson, that you can't name me 6 better. You can't name me 2 better than him.
I've got him 4th, bro.
Thingy.
Kovacic.
That's fair enough. I thought you had him like 8th. What's going on here?
No, I've got high praise on him. He's Chelsea's best midfielder.
Do you think it was a mistake, Real Madrid letting him go?
No, I think it was the perfect time because he was waiting to replace Modric.
And Modric's still going now.
Yeah, he's still today.
He's still doing it. Yeah.
And then when he left, he won the Champions League with Chelsea. So it wasn't a massive. But then again, he is Chelsea's best midfielder. He's the only player in your team that can literally get the ball and just.
I thought there was going to be a point in the last couple of seasons where you guys were going to sell him. Like, it felt like
When
he was going.
it didn't go especially well early.
Yeah.
I mean, most people have really respected it. I was fully aware of it, but there was a time, incorrectly, that he wasn't playing and Ross Barkley was.
Yeah.
Like, which is insane. Which is
Now it's
completely
crazy,
insane.
yeah.
But there was a time when Mateo Kovacic was sitting on the bench watching Ross Barkley play football. He must have been like, hold up, what on earth is going on here?
Yeah.
But I'd say over the past 2 years, he has shone.
Unplayable.
He has shone, yeah. And on his day, you know that in terms of like transition, picking up the ball deep and like
you don't lose it.
Yeah, well, he
Ball's a magnet.
buys you 20 yards all the time. Like, a brilliant player, carries the ball beautifully.
Yeah, his ball retention is insane.
Eye for a pass, excellent on the ball. Yeah,
Insane.
Literally.
Speak very highly for someone who's not on your list.
I forgot he exists. I'll tell you what, Sharky, I was
This
rushing.
happened a lot before.
I was somewhere
People have
between,
forgotten players.
I was somewhere between Waterloo Station and Kilburn Station. The heat was on. I lost signal because I go under the tunnel at Green Park.
Yep.
When I got out, I thought send.
Yeah.
Something happened in that tunnel. I just forgot that it was as if it was a Kovacic-less world. I just didn't. When you're doing it off the top of your head, I just had this vacuum that just didn't.
I remember I did that for Phil Foden. Was it Phil Foden? Or like Wayne Rooney or something like that. I think it was Wazza.
Oh yeah, for a striker's list.
Wazza's a top 10 prep all time. I've completely forgot about him.
Yeah. Nah, that's alright. It's happened before. You're not the first. Don't worry. Let's get into the top 4 now. In 4th place, the person who picked Kovacic, who I think if you had Kova anywhere in top 5, it would have gone higher. Bruno Fernandes in 4th place.
Bruno Fernandes.
Obviously, everyone had him in, but Liban, the United fan, had him in at 2nd. 2nd best midfielder in the Premier League.
He's got a good memory then, Liban, hasn't he? He's got a very good memory.
Yeah, he's thinking about a couple of years ago.
Yeah. But do you know what? If you focus on that, which I know is very kind because we don't have to do that, we're saying that we're judging other people. Like N'Golo Kante is not on the list because of his form last season.
Yeah.
And now I'm saying that it doesn't matter about last season. Look back to Bruno Fernandes, which isn't really fair. But that season was incredible.
No, he was.
He was incredible.
Everyone's got to give him his flag. Everyone was saying, is he better than
De Bruyne, yeah.
So obviously,
Yeah, there was actually an argument at that time.
the
That
biggest
was a
foul
thing.
you can
That
give
was-
The
someone.
debates was there,
Yeah.
That's the biggest compliment you can pay someone.
Exactly.
But was it the signing of Ronaldo that's just been the downhill, or has it just been?
It's timing at the
It
club
wasn't
as
as
well. It's a club in
That's
disarray.
not-
It's just yeah.
That's no runners in that team.
And
bro.
or is it just the fact that he played really well under Oli? Or was it the whole he played in front of no crowds really well? Like there's loads of things. What
Yeah.
was it?
I
know the
It
thing
could be
about-
Ronaldo.
I
It could be
think-
Oli. It could be the.
This
Empty
season, we
stadiums.
need it from him. This season now,
Yeah.
it's time for him to either step
He
up,
needs-
perform consistently, week in, week out,
He's their
output
main man
everything.
now.
I don't think he would.
Every
though.
club,
I don't think he
needs
will.
fluid football.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he
He
will.
needs
Because
fluid
2 seasons ago,
100%.
he had runners. He had like the Greenwood,
Yeah.
fluid,
Yeah.
Greenwood, Martial.
That might be
Rashford.
now, though. That might be now.
Last season.
That is true as well.
Last
The season where he
last
did
season,
well.
he only had Ronaldo. He made the run. Sancho prefers the ball.
And
Feet,
Ronaldo's not
yeah,
really
yeah.
a runner like that as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's a
I
static
reckon
forward, isn't it?
Put Bruno in that Liverpool team. He would
Oh,
cook.
he'd love
But
it.
do you think Bruno
You'll
Fernandes
kick.
now, like if this Ten Hag system is employed properly, and you end up with Martial, Rashford running the
Sancho,
channels,
yeah.
running the
He'll
channels,
do well.
that could be perfect for
I
Bruno
think,
Fernandes
yeah.
because if you think about Martial on form, you know, the player that had the Ballon d'Or clause in his contract, that player, not the one that we've seen more recently, if that player is making the space, making the runs, taking defenders, occupying centre halves, Bruno Fernandes, edge of the box, 18 yards out or whatever, it's goals galore for him.
He
innit?
can score goals.
galore for
He
him.
knows how to score goals, and he can make any type of assist.
He needs
He
to.
can.
He can do any type of assist outside the boot
man.
from like 40 yards out. He can flick it over the head, like the crazy through ball splitting. But he can do any type of assist. We've seen him do it, and he could score goals, right foot, left foot. He scored a hat trick against Leeds first game of the
Yeah.
season last. So like he's got that numbers wise.
The only
the one
thing
thing-
with attitude, he's got to clean up his attitude.
Yeah,
You know that kind of
He
petulant,
strops as
throwing
well.
his arms around. Yeah, that stroppy footballer. You can't be doing that, particularly at Man United now. They haven't got room for that.
Yeah.
They haven't got room for ego at all, which is why they're probably better off with Ronaldo.
The thing about him as well is
Better off.
Without
Without Ronaldo.
I don't necessarily think that. I think that anybody that's ever heard me speak about Ronaldo, all I do is wax lyrical about how good he is. I think he's a phenomenon, and I'm desperate for Chelsea to sign him. But Manchester United now, they probably don't have room for that. They don't have room. He hasn't been on their pre-season. If they play him now, it makes a mockery of their pre-season.
But United's not making top 4 without Ronaldo. I think they've got a better
No, I
chance.
don't think they're
I've
making
got-
it.
I've
Yeah,
got-
of course they have.
They've got a bigger chance.
I don't think they do it with or without, though.
They had him last season, didn't make it. What's
Yeah.
different now?
I've got them finishing third. With Ronaldo.
Have you?
With Ronaldo.
And even without?
6.
I think it's more likely to be without, though. I think it's more likely to not be there than there.
Exactly.
They're talking about Sporting Lisbon today. Have you seen that?
And the thing about Ronaldo as well, the United fans have turned on him.
Yeah,
They
rightly
want him
so.
now.
Well, they made a whole
Rightly
thing because
so.
he left the gate.
The lack of loyalty. The lack of
But
loyalty.
United
Flirting.
said there was nothing. There was no issues with it.
Flirting. He's a Manchester United icon, and he's flirting with Manchester City. He's a Real Madrid icon. He's flirting with Atletico Madrid.
Barca as
fake.
well.
Where's this man's pride?
That was fake. This whole Atletico rumors and the Barca rumors was just.
Are you choosing to believe that
No, no,
because
no.
it hurts your
No,
soul?
it's fake.
He works for the publications in Spain.
It's fake.
Right.
It's fake. People. You know what? Ronaldo sells papers. So It's just fake rumors.
Yeah, I hope. Do you know what? I hope it's fake because I like Ronaldo and I like to believe that footballers have that loyalty and love that we all
Yeah.
display.
No, they don't.
No, but do you know what, Sharks? I choose to believe
Shatter
it.
your dreams.
No,
They don't.
I'm not hearing you.
They don't.
I'm opting out of this. I'm opting out. I'm like
You're still that
like
little
my
kid
child when I
inside
tell
you
her
that
it's
thinks the
bedtime. She don't
footballers
hear me.
care.
I'm not hearing this.
They don't.
I have to believe it. Like I opt out of that. I choose to believe that Cristiano Ronaldo would have never signed for Man City out of loyalty to Manchester United. Whether I'm right or wrong, my world is a happier place to believe that.
No, that's true. That's true. You choose what to believe, and then that's
And
how
then
your
you can
world's
have the
created.
facts. You deal in
But
facts.
I deal with facts, and that's just not the case anymore. Football's changed. Everyone has their own career. They've got families. They've got all that stuff. They have to protect their own interests. Football's a short career.
In the history
The
of Real
loyalty.
Madrid,
There's no one more loyal than the fans in the game of football.
but in the
Impossible.
history of Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo is this fair? Cristiano Ronaldo is
I'm the
there.
whole topic about Ronaldo.
You
crazy.
It used to when we were kids and that it was all like Di Stefano and Raul and whatever. In the history, I think Cristiano Ronaldo has now become their best ever player.
He's 100%.
Yeah, of course.
No,
Even like Di Stefano
no
level.
one's denying that. Yes, he is.
But he can't even. I thought that
Well, these
the
rumors are all
Atletico
fake. It's all fake
See,
rumors.
that's not as you like. You're choosing to believe that he's choosing to believe that the
I
Ronaldo to
wonder.
Real Madrid, Atletico is fake.
Because I saw the Atletico
and
Madrid
his life is happier like that.
Atletico Madrid fans put out a statement saying he's not in keeping with our ethics and all that, and then Ronaldo was laughing with the
Because
crying,
they're trying to beg it.
Yeah.
They're trying to beg it. He destroyed their team for the past how many years? They're trying to. He was never going to go to Atletico Madrid and Barcelona.
Really?
Fake rumors.
I'm choosing to believe it.
This is nothing to do with Ronaldo. So let's get back to the midfielders video. As we're in the top 3 now, it's pretty much unanimous from here onwards. But actually, there's a couple people that have some players pretty different positions. In third place, we have Mr. Thiago Alcantara.
Yeah.
Everyone in this table has him even second or third. So Faisal and Stars had him at second. Me and Rory had him at third.
I'm surprised people think Bernardo is better than Thiago.
But Hasib has Thiago in 7th. What sound was that? He had him at 7th. But then again, Hasib did have he had Mount in 3rd. So he thinks Mount is 4 places above Thiago.
So you think? Well,
But listen, let's talk about Thiago because let's talk about Thiago. We'll have him in the top 3.
He's
anyways.
like devastatingly good. Devastatingly good. In terms of like silk, he is the closest thing to sort of silk I've ever seen on a football pitch.
I agree. He's one of the players, like you said. If
Someone said on
you want to
TalkSport
show
as well.
someone a footballer that's never watched football or a midfielder that's never watched football, Thiago's one of the players you want to show them.
he is the Premier League version of Luka Modric.
Where's that come
That's
from?
a very dumb statement.
Just the way, no. In terms,
They're not even similar.
No, in terms, chill out. No, in terms
They
of,
don't even look the
no, in
same.
terms of, no, in terms of.
One's Croatian, one's
thing,
Spanish.
legacy, history, just the way they play.
Nah.
Yes, it is.
Nah.
I see that. I see that.
I've watched Thiago, yeah. Thiago looks like Thiago. He looks like he's playing walking football. He'll get in the biggest amount of space. He gets the ball, walks past it. Like he's such a different type. Like he's. I don't think anyone in the world plays like Thiago.
It's beautiful.
The
I don't think anyone plays like Thiago.
The way that he creates a yard is very similar to Modric. The way that he can give himself that
The way they
little,
dribble,
yeah.
the way the ball retention is literally the same.
I mean,
don't think anyone plays like
when
Thiago.
you watch Thiago as well, you know that kind of
Luka
Dutch terminology.
Modric.
You know when the Dutch used to do that like sexy
TikTok.
football.
Yeah.
That's him, innit? Just the way that he cuts the ball, the spin that he'll put on a pass,
crazy.
the weight of pass,
Yeah.
the way that he drops his shoulder to create space. I just can't
God.
believe. Yeah,
That drop shoulder that he does. That thing he
Yeah.
does when the ball's and then he does that way.
That
He did it against
pass,
City.
when
He did it against City.
you know when he shakes his his foot at
And
it,
then
so the ball will be coming. He's kind of passes, doesn't hit the ball,
Yeah.
and the defender runs that way. He's
Yeah,
just
that
like,
way,
oh,
he
I
just
see
turns
that.
that way.
No, he's
To be honest,
outstanding.
I've seen Modric do that against Getafe.
Yeah.
He did. A lot. And against Chelsea as well when he assisted it. Love it.
You need to be careful. about this.
He's a he's just a glorious footballer, isn't he? There's very little you can say aside from he's obviously on this list. Where he ranks in the top 3 is probably
And
the
I'm
question.
glad it's taken like a season for him to fully cement his
Because he
spot in
didn't
that
have a good
Liverpool
team.
team.
He didn't have a good
Yeah,
team
it's
in
true.
that
His
first
first
year.
season was
Yeah.
that team where they didn't have they had so much
went
injuries
wrong.
at the back. They
Yeah.
had Nat Phillips and Kabak.
He was injured as well a couple of times.
He was
Yeah.
injured. Henderson was injured. Like that was his first
Do you
season.
know the other thing about him, which I think we should all acknowledge as being absolutely brilliant? He's really hard. Like,
Oh yeah,
he's
that
a
was
bit grim. He's a bit into
Yeah.
the dark
He's got
arts.
that
He
in
can
him as
be a
well.
bit of an edgy character, a bit nasty where necessary, which is an integral part of being a brilliant midfielder.
100%.
Yeah, so I think he's devastatingly good, man.
So good. So good. Thiago Alcantara. So obviously not in terms of ability, but it's similar story to the Kovacic thing. He didn't want to wait for Modric, so left. Thiago was like that. He left Barcelona very
He was
early.
Iniesta.
Didn't want to wait for the Chaves and Iniestas. He was like Pep had him ready.
Yeah,
but
Pep had him to Bayern.
he
and-
left because he didn't want to wait. So I remember that. Pretty similar. In second, obviously we know who came second. Bernardo Silva. I have him in second. Rory has him in second. Face has him in third. Star player has him in sixth, which is the lowest in the whole.
Yeah.
I just don't know what he's not good at. Like, in terms of what I want
He
from a
does not
football.
stop running.
In terms of what
No,
I
he
want
was
from a
solid. No,
footballer,
I was talking
he's
about left centre
everything I
mid,
want.
he was
He's
unreal.
everything I want from a midfielder.
Yeah.
Like, I just think he's everything that you could possibly want.
So good.
So good. Eye for a goal, yes. Good range of passing, yes. Good in the tackle, yes. Works hard for a team, yes.
Works so hard.
Selfless, yes. Like, he's just the
Technical
complete
ability,
footballer.
like flair, like everything you need.
Big goal
Grit
as well.
grit as well.
Turns
Grit.
up with a goal.
Yeah?
Turns up with a big goal. Embraces the rivalry as well. He's not bothered by like always has a good game against Man United or whatever. Just a class act. I mean.
Yeah.
Why
No, I'm not
did you
hating.
have? Because you had certain players ahead of him. So you had Kovacic ahead of him.
Yeah.
You had Gundogan ahead of him. So you don't think he's?
Not me, yeah, because
No, that's not my bad. You had
Coach, you're right.
Kovacic ahead of him. You had Odegaard ahead of him.
Yeah.
You had Mount ahead of him.
Yeah.
Ahead of Bernardo Silva.
And like, as I said, man, I'm basing this on obviously if with if I listened to the topic, he would have been like top 3.
Okay,
So, but based on the next season coming up.
Oh, yeah,
I
doing the
just think-
predictions, innit?
Yeah, so for me, it's like, I expect him to do amazing, but I think the other guys are gonna play. I don't want to say be better than him, but have a better season than him.
But Bernardo, he's not like he's getting old. He's still like what?
I know he's
27?
elite. He's
Like,
elite. But
The only
we don't-
thing is
we don't
weird.
know, he might leave.
They do seem to talk a few times. They've spoken about him leaving at the beginning of last
Yeah,
season.
always
Remember, he was
happens.
going to AC Milan for about 30 million quid
Yeah.
or something. Weird because
And our Barca's interested
he's a
in him.
sensational footballer.
Is that fake rumours or is that ledge?
Well, the Barca rumors,
Yeah.
they want him.
Mate,
but
they want
I don't-
everybody.
I don't see it happen.
They want everybody. They said they're
How
signing it.
are they affording all this?
Mate, I wish I could answer that question. I've absolutely no idea. It's bewildering.
It makes no sense.
Makes absolutely no
crazy.
sense.
Selling
Have you
their
seen a new
soul.
signing as well?
New signing.
Right there behind you. Cost them an arm and a leg, that one. Okay, and let's get into first place. This has only happened a couple times ever in the top 10s. I think maybe once.
You got to be drunk to have not.
Yeah,
another
only
one.
once or twice it's ever happened, and every single person had this person in first
Unanimous,
place.
really.
Unanimous. Not happened many times ever, and that is obviously Kevin de Bruyne. Perfect 90 points from 9 people.
Yeah. Where'd you start,
Yeah.
man? Where'd you start?
You know, what it reminds me of a younger Tony Cruz.
Are you doing a dumb Faisal comparison? I knew it. He did it on purpose to mock Faisal.
Nah, he's
Yeah, but
unreal.
that just didn't make sense. Well, that's got enough. To make sense. But
Do we even have any more words of praise to give Kevin de Bruyne?
No, the only thing, this might sound even crazy. You know how Ilyas is famous for saying big game De Bruyne.
Yeah.
He has that in him, you know. In
Yeah,
terms
so
of like,
Ilyas has a
he
theory
plays
that-
small game, like he doesn't play well against big teams.
I mean, I remember him playing an FA Cup final. I know, but that was against weaker opposition. I was going to say I remember him playing an FA Cup final and coming on at half time and being man of the match. But I suppose that taps into the theory because it wasn't big opposition. It was Watford that year, wasn't it?
Yeah, they played Watford, yeah.
Yeah.
He's had good games against big teams, which is right. But obviously that's one of the theories in the like.
What, he doesn't rate him as highly?
No, he rates him very highly, but
Big games. he's
big
not as
games
good
he
as-
hides.
Although in fairness, the European Cup final against us, Rudiger won the game for us by taking him out of the game,
Yeah.
and that had an impact on his Euros. Like he's just a masterclass of a footballer. The only
100%.
question, for legacy, and I don't even know the answer to this, but just to explore it with you, does he need a European Cup for legacy?
to be
Champions
what?
League.
To be.
Do you know when you think about the true Premier League icons in that position,
Yeah.
they all have a European Cup.
Yeah.
Does
Gerrard,
he,
Lampard, Scholes.
does
yeah,
he
yeah.
need? Does he need one?
Yeah.
I'm only asking the
Yeah,
question. I don't even necessarily. Think
I don't
he
think.
does.
I don't think he does. I think he's third all time Premier League midfielders
Already.
Already.
That's a big shout.
I think it's him. Top 3 is him, Scholes, and Lampard.
So
You
Gerrard,
need
don't
Gerrard.
even
No,
make-
Gerrard.
leave Gerrard out.
Top 3 Premier League midfielders.
You know
It's
what's an
KDB,
even
man.
bigger argument?
Wow.
Man City will say David Silva's a bigger legend than Kevin de Bruyne.
Currently,
Maybe
I think
Yaya
if you
Toure. Maybe even Yaya Toure.
Yeah,
if he
but
takes him to a
I
European
think
Cup,
they love Yaya more.
if he takes him to a European Cup, then it's statue territory,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's like
yeah.
they'll have a stand named after him or something.
For
Is it
sure.
not- is
They
it not
need that. That's all
Yeah.
they want. That's all they want now. But like there's no much more we
That's
could
the
say
thing.
about
How old
Kevin
is
de
he?
Bruyne.
Like, he's like 31.
He's like
isn't
31 now.
He's
Yeah.
still got a lot of
He's
years.
got a good few years in him. He's still in that peak few years. But listen, I'm gonna end it here. We've been talking this for a while. Kevin de Bruyne is our first place. You guys know the list. I'm gonna quickly run through it. In first, we've got Kevin de Bruyne. Second, Bernardo Silva. Third, Thiago. Fourth, Bruno Fernandes. Fifth, Kovacic. In sixth, we have Mount and Gundogan tie-in. Seventh, Kante. Eighth, Odegaard. Ninth, Partey. And 10th, James Madison. Let us know in the comments below whose list you agree with and who you don't agree with. Let us know what your list is. I want to see it. And join the community, like I said. But until next time, we'll see you in a few days with another topic. Bang.